Well, it's another day that the Lord has made, and we should rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to This Is The Day. My name is Sarah Otieno. We are live on Family TV, also live on Family Radio, where the music does the talking. Use the WhatsApp number 0786 316 316 and talk to us. Also through the SMS line 20316. Well, today we'll be looking at different kinds of stories, talking about politics kidogo, and also making sure that talking about what is happening in our schools, even as the teachers and the pupils resume learning. And we are talking about the KCPE, KCSE candidates, and also the grade 4 pupils that resumed to school yesterday and even today as the process continues. Well, that and much more is coming up in a couple of minutes, but for now, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has told Deputy President William Ruto and the ODM leader Raila Odinga to prepare for a political shock in the Msambweni by-election. Speaking while unveiling the party's candidate Sheikh Mohamud at the party's headquarters today, Kalonzo laughed off claims that the Msambweni by-election was a two-horse race between Raila and Mr. Ruto. Kalonzo also called on police to treat politicians equally amid concerns that police have been selective in enforcing the laws on public gathering. He called on the politicians and the leaders to ensure they notify the police of their meetings in good time so as to avoid unnecessary confrontation.
So this, you know, they frame it that way, and then from there they will say Raila Odinga versus Ruto. Are we not Kenyans? And are we not prepared to make sure we defeat both of them? Hey, we defeat both of them. It's a democracy. It's a democracy. So I can tell you they are in for a shock. This is a grassroots man, and I want to hold his hand again so that people can see the framers. The framers. This is the correct framing. Correct framing. Huyu bwana wasishangae akiwa ametangazwa mshindi.
Tuko pande.
Actually, I think I know these people. Okay. So, people of Msambweni, we welcome you to agree with us. We propose the question.
Well, still in matters politics, Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua has accused the system of frustrating his political dreams after being required to resign 6 months before running for presidency. Justice Weldon Korir last Wednesday ruled the only holders of political office who can stand in a presidential election without relinquishing their offices are the president, the deputy president, and the members of parliament. Mutua said the ruling can only be viewed as discriminatory, unfair, and unconstitutional.
To be double standards when it comes to governance, and this is a fight against devolution. People have never been very comfortable the fact that devolution is here to stay, and that devolution is going nowhere, and that governors have a place to play in society. Therefore, this recent ruling saying that governors like myself who want to bring mambo fresh in our country and change lives in our country cannot vie unless they resign 6 months to the elections can only be viewed as discriminatory, unfair, and unconstitutional. And we are going to take measures, including going to court to appeal. We are going to take measures, including changing the laws and giving clarity to our people.
Well, that is tough for the current governors who are holding office right now, who want to run for presidency. And that is why we're getting our question of discussion today. After this ruling was passed by Justice Weldon last Wednesday, do you agree with the ruling that every governor who is in office right now and wants to vie for presidency must resign 6 months before they start vying for the same seat? Do you agree with the fact that governors should resign 6 months before running for presidency? Text in your responses to 20316. That is on SMS. WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. I want to hear from you. If you agree with that ruling, that governors should actually resign 6 months before running for and vying for presidency in our country. Talk to me about that. Now, Kenya has today recorded 318 new cases of coronavirus, and that brings the total number of infections in our country to 41,937. And this is from 2,592 samples that were tested in the last 24 hours. Age-wise, the youngest is a 3-year-old baby, while the oldest is 90 years old. Additionally, 243 patients have recovered from the virus. And on a sad note, 10 more people have succumbed to the virus. And now the total number of deaths is standing at 787.
Today, we report 318 people who have tested positive for the virus after testing a sample size of 2,592 over the past 24 hours. This now brings to 41,937 the number of confirmed positive cases in the country. Our cumulative tests now stand at 595,791. From these 318 cases, 309 are Kenyans, 9 are foreigners, 215 are male, 103 are female. The youngest is a 3-month-old infant. The oldest is 90 years. On a positive note, today 243 people have recovered from the disease. 132 from the home-based care program, and 111 have been discharged from various hospitals where they were receiving care. This brings our total recoveries now to 31,340. And I want to take this opportunity once more to thank our healthcare workers for the good work they are doing that has enabled us to achieve these results. At the same time, we have lost another 10 patients to the disease, bringing our fatality to 787. Once again, our sincere condolences go to the families and friends of those who have lost their loved ones.
Well, we have Dr. Rashid Aman there, the CAS for Health, and he urged Kenyans to safeguard the safety of our children by not overloading public service vehicles while the preventive measures are put on high gear. Dr. Aman further warned on the likelihood of a second wave hitting the country, noting that the positivity rate has risen to 12%. Remember when the president was reopening the country, he said that the positivity rate was below 5%. And right now, according to Dr. Aman, it has risen to 12%. So this calls for us to be more cautious, even as we are going about our daily activities. The question that we are asking today is, do you agree with the ruling that governors should resign 6 months before running for presidency? 6 months in advance before running for presidency. Do you agree with that ruling? Send in your responses. Well, this is Timoa Uba, and you're saying, please ongeza volume. From airport to town, traffic starts at airport exit. Wow. So if you're using that route, and also in Westlands around Wayakiwe, I hear there's a lot of traffic. So be cautious, or even look for alternative routes. Calvin Warongai, thank you for tuning in today. John Wanakuru, I can see you. Asante sana for tuning in today. Now, about 70% of households in Nairobi low-income areas now fear that their children would contract coronavirus in school. A survey report that was released by the Trends and Insight for Africa, that is TIFA, indicates that more women are more worried about their children contracting the disease compared to men. According to the survey conducted in Huruma, Kibera, Mathare, Korogosho, Mkuru kwa Njenga, and Kawangware, 23% of the respondents said that the children will be safe in school, compared to 70% who said that they are not. 7% who said that they are not sure, and we have 70% saying that the children will not be safe. So 23% said that the children will be safe, 7% said they are not sure, and 70% said that the children might contract the virus in schools. This survey was conducted between September 24th and October 7th, with 555 respondents being interviewed. Remember, this just comes a day after the Education CS Professor George Magoha cautioned head teachers against allowing unnecessary visitation in their schools.
School heads, both principals and head teachers, and all the teachers, that unless a child has a pre-existing condition, unnecessary school visits by strangers should be voluntarily toned down for the time being. I am assured, and I've been assured, that all schools have been linked to health institutions.
Well, still in matters Education Principal Secretary Dr. Belio Kipsang today highlighted plans to help settle over 3,000 schools stranded in Baringo County. Kipsang was speaking when he toured Baringo South constituency to assess the level of damage due to the floods from the Lake Bogoria and Lake Baringo. The PS revealed plans to merge schools that were affected and have learners accommodated in tents until such a time that the water levels would drop. Kipsang added that the comfort and safety of the students will be paramount when making the decisions to ensure that learners resume learning in that county.
The total number of kids who have been affected, the number of schools we have lost is, which are affected are 17, with 12 primary schools and 5 secondary schools, with a total population of 3,000 learners. So we can see yesterday, those who are there today is only 10% of our learners, but the totality of the learners who have been affected is 3,000. So today we have had a meeting with our teams here in this county. We have looked at all dynamics that are there as the schools opened. And when we went through all those dynamics, we realized that what we had planned before the schools opened, when the schools opened yesterday, the dynamics to some extent changed. And therefore we have agreed that we look at a matrix of how we are placing our children so that we address the question of proximity for those who are day scholars. We address the question of capacity for those who are boarders, and make sure that the comfort and the progression and the settling of our learners is the primary driver of the decisions that we are going to make.
Well, in that county, we only have 10% of the learners that have resumed learning and gone back to school. And this is all because of the flooding that is being experienced in that county. And we can also see learners boarding boats to their classes. That is really sad. And also for the grade 4 standard 8 learners who opened school yesterday, they will have their assessment exam by next Monday. So it's important that if you're a parent, take note of this, and even for the students and the pupils, take note of this. The grade 4 and the standard 8 learners will have their assessment from next Monday, and this will be marked according to the school level and also the results of this. And this also applies for the Form 4 candidates, that is. It will be used as an assessment for the end of Term 1 exam that was not done due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Well, still is in matters education, and this is rather sorry. A group of unemployed tutors have alleged tribalism and nepotism in the ongoing recruitment of teachers. The tutors allege that they were mistreated and barred from interviews when they turned up for the exercise, and this happened in Kuria, Migori County.
Na mwenye alileta hiyo kriteria kwamba walimu waende nje kuandikiwa, acha mtu aandikiwe kwao, atume shule, kama atatuma atume kaunti nyingine. Kwa nini mnatusumbua? Tumetumia a lot of money kuja mpaka hapa. Yeah? Tutakuko Kisii mpaka Kuria ni district mbali sana.
When will we be employed? Kwa sababu sisi tumekaa nyumbani 10 good years. Surely bringing them. In fact, when wako na shida ni hapa, because kwetu nyumbani penye nimetoka hawakutendea watu wengine hivi. They were very friendly. Kufika huku we have been treated very badly. Others wengine walilala hapa jana, wengine wali-travel overnight. But sasa kufika hapa, MCA and this director wa education na wa hapa wote wapangana wakasema kwamba Wakuria wao ndio kwanza wanapewa nini first chance.
Alafu watu wengine ndio wale wamefungiwa huko nje. Wengine hata wame-give up on.
Well, that is rather sad. All right, the question that we are answering today is that do you agree with the ruling that was given by the courts saying that if a governor wants to vie for presidency, he must resign 6 months prior? Do you agree with that ruling? I can see someone here. This is Florence, and you are saying, hello, Sarah. Florence from Nakuru. I think governors should just let go of the office. But again, what about the counties? Who will be responsible for the counties when they resign? A good question there. Anyway, I want to hear from you on the same topic. Do you think governors should resign 6 months before vying for presidency? Talk to us about that. 0786 316 316. That is on WhatsApp. SMS line 20316. In other news, political leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto have hit out at the Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mutyambai, telling him to prepare to take responsibility for the violence witnessed at Kennel in Murang'a County over 1 week ago, where 2 people were killed and several were injured. The legislators who spoke at a funeral in Mathira, Nyeri County earlier today warned the IG that the International Criminal Court might come calling for him, saying the deaths were as a result of crime against humanity. They further blasted Mutyambai, telling him to avoid being used by government that has only 2 years left in power, warning that he may face unspecified consequences in the next government.
Tungetaka kuambia police officers wakianza na Inspector General of Police, don't be misused by a government that has only 2 years to go. Hiyo maswali utakuja kujibu kwa serikali nyingine.
The Constitution gives us the right to assemble and associate with anyone we want to associate with. Therefore, if your problem is us associating and assembling where the Deputy President is, we will assemble. And we will respect the rule of law. But any law that is unconstitutional, we are obligated as citizens to exercise civil disobedience against that law.
There's nothing as beautiful as knowing that your family members are watching. And it's also stressful at the same time. So Monica, Jonah, June, Mary, and Prince Rich, thank you very much for tuning in today. I also see someone here who texted in and said, Vincent Mulinge from Thika, and they're saying, praise the Lord, Sarah, the governors should resign because the other people holding public offices were forced to resign from their jobs if they wish to vie for any political position. Someone else here is saying it's only a greedy person that will want to hold 2 offices at the same time. If you want something big, then you must leave the little offices for someone else. I like that. Thank you so much for tuning in today and for your response. This is Omwana wa Zipora John Abanda Luocho from Bungoma. And you're saying shule zote, walimu, wafanyikazi na wanafunzi wafanye kazi pamoja, wazingatie maelezo ya waziri wa afya na mbele iko sawa. Thank you so much, Omwana wa Zipora, for tuning in today. This is Jenna. Jenna, I don't understand what you're saying, so please, if you could resend your message, I would really, really appreciate. Now, the Kiambu Member of Parliament, that is Mr. Jude Njomo, has criticized the Law Society of Kenya's attempt to occupy Parliament yesterday as part of the push to force President Uhuru Kenyatta to dissolve Parliament. He argued that while the Chief Justice had advised the President to dissolve Parliament for failing to implement the 2/3 gender rule requirement, LSK should respect the High Court order restraining the President from acting until a petition by 2 Kenyan opposition parliamentary dissolution is heard and determined.
There is a court ruling suspending the advisory of the Chief Justice So if they want, why do they want to obey? Why do they pretend that they know so much about the advisory and they are not obeying the court order that is given by a member of their own society, of the Law Society of Kenya? So to me it is nonsense, you know. Let them first obey a court ruling, just as much as if we got the court ruling, we'd obey it. Yeah? So to me, I think they are jumping the gun.
Well, just in case you had forgotten, this month is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And talking of cancer, leaders from Nandi County have urged the national government to declare cancer as a national disaster. They were speaking in Nandi, where the leaders said cancer has continued to ravage many families, with increasing cases of patients and deaths being reported across the country. The leaders further added that many people are suffering in hospitals and homes due to lack of resources, and many families are spending everything they had to cater for the expensive cost of treating cancer. They spoke during the burial of the former manager of the EPKT estate, Mr. Emmanuel Kibore, who passed away after a long struggle with cancer. This comes days after the Kenya Network for Cancer Organization and the Kenyatta National Hospital and also the Aga Khan University launched a campaign dubbed Behind Every Patient.
Ugonjwa huu ambao unaitwa kansa, nchi ya Kenya wasimame na kutangaza ni changa ya corona katika nchi ya Kenya. Kabisa. Inatumaliza. Hata jana nilikuwa hospitalini. Nikiombea watu kama 3 4 wamekumbwa na ugonjwa wa kansa. Na ukipata na ugonjwa tafadhali wana yumba. Uende utibiwe.
So I want to ask national government, now that corona is being managed, let us divert and put a lot of emphasis and resources towards the fight against cancer in our country today. If possible, declare it as a national disaster so that then we can be able to move forward as a nation and ensure that we deal with a disease that is ravaging many of our residents today in our country.
Well, this is a month that you should be aware of not only breast cancer, but all the types of cancers and how you can prevent yourself from getting it and how even to detect it on time so that treatment can commence. Well, it was a narrow escape for 5 casual laborers in Narok County after a sewer trench they were digging caved in. That happened early today morning. And the 5 were part of a group involved in the construction works for the Narok Town Sewerage Project, which is part of Kenya's Town Sustainable Water Supply and the Sanitation Program, funded by the Africa Development Bank and the National Government of Kenya. Confirming the incident, Narok North Deputy Police Commander Frederick Shiundu said that the incident happened at around 7 a.m. just as the workers started digging one of the trenches. This even as he urges those involved in the project to take caution and avert similar tragedies.
Lakini hasa kwa sababu hakuna usalama na serikali ya Kenya hata wale watu wameajiriwa waangalia usalama ya wafanyikazi hawashughuliki, ndio ambapo hasa unaona maneno kama inatokea. Kwa sababu hao wafanyikazi wa serikali ile kitu wanakuanga nayo ni kwenda kuona mchaina ule mkubwa wapewa kinyo wanapewa, lakini hawajali maneno ya wafanyikazi wa hapa Kenya. Na hiyo ndio kitu inatendeka hata si hapa peke yake. Hakuna kitu kingine kama safety.
Tunataka kuwasihi wananchi hasa wafanyakazi ambao wako katika eneo hili wawe waangalifu sana, kwa sababu kumekuwa na mvua kubwa na sehemu nyingi mchanga ni mwepesi. Wanapofanya kazi kama hii ambayo ni kazi ya muhimu kwetu sisi zote, inakuwa katika nafasi zingine wanakuwa hatarini. So tunataka kuwasihi mnakuwa waangalifu na mnakaa mbali kiasi na eneo hili la mjengo. Tunataka kuachia kampuni iweze kushughulika na ile sehemu inabaki. Wenzetu ambao wamepelekwa hospitali tunaombea Mola wapate kupata afueni mara moja.
Well, those that were injured during that incident were taken to Narok County Referral Hospital for treatment, and we wish them a quick recovery. Now, the people of Nairobi, the Nairobi Metropolitan Service has announced a second COVID-19 mass testing program across all the sub-counties in the capital. In a statement, the NMS announced that the mass testing would take place for 2 days beginning October 17th and 18th, that is coming Saturday and Sunday. The General Mohammed Badi led a team to announce the venues where the residents are expected to represent themselves for the COVID-19 testing. And they listed Langata, Mathare, Embakasi South, Starehe, Kasarani, Roysambu, Makadara, Ruaraka, Dagoretti South, Embakasi East, Embakasi Central, Dagoretti North, Embakasi West, and Westlands as some of the areas that are being targeted for the mass testing. So if you live around this area on the 17th and the 18th of this month, this is Saturday and Sunday, there will be a mass testing program there for the COVID-19 virus. So avail yourselves for this testing program. Well, I also want to say thank you to all the people that have stood with us to keep Jesus on the airwaves through your partnership or even through your donation. We are very grateful for that. And if you wish to be a partner with Family Media, text in the word partner to 20316. And we will appreciate 16. Now to some international stories. The U.S. President Donald Trump is back out with the crowds, trying to fire up a campaign interrupted by his COVID-19 infection. Trump held a rally in Florida, taking to the stage without a mask after the White House doctor confirmed that he had tested negative of the virus. But he has been criticized by his Democratic rival Joe Biden for recklessness and a reckless behavior since he just tested positive of COVID-19.
Energized by your prayers and humbled by your support. We've had such incredible support. And here we are. Here we are. I went through it. Now they say I'm immune. I feel so powerful. I'll walk into that audience. I'll walk in there. I'll kiss everyone in that audience. I'll kiss the guys and the beautiful women and everybody. I'll just give you a big fat kiss. No, but there is something nice. I don't have to be locked up in my basement, and I wouldn't allow that to happen anyway. I wouldn't allow it to happen. When you're the president, you can't lock yourself in a basement and say, I'm not going to bother with the world. You got to get out, and it's risky. It's risky, but you got to get out. But it does give you a good feeling when you can beat something, and now they say you're immune. I don't know for how long. Some people say for life. Some people say for 4 months. I mean, every time I think about it, every time I hear them, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter because they want it to be as bad as possible. See, fortunately, I'm not an old person. I'm very young, and I'm in such perfect shape. Right? I'm in such great...
Well, we can say that President Trump has a new kind of energy, you know, and he says his words that he's now immune. Anyway, we have to take caution. We really have to take caution, especially for us as Kenyans. 12%, the positivity rate is a high one. Well, there's a group of women that have decided to build a house for a resident in Makungu, that is in Kakamega County. This lady by the name Sarah Awire has been living in a very poor house for many, many years, with this house just having a lot of holes. But this group decided to change that. Listen in.
Watu wengine wowote ambao wana vikundi mbalimbali waweze kujiunga na waweze kufikiana katika hali kama hii. Hatuna sisi, tuna ile kidogo tu, lakini tunaona lazima tufikiane tuweze kutatuliana shida.
Nilipokuja nikaona nyumba na ikawa ni ya kusikitisha sana, maana pale kwenye nyumba kuna mtoto saizi wa wiki moja, na hiyo nyumba imetoboka upande zote. Kukinyesha unanyeshewa pale ndani.
Niko na mtoto mdogo. Sasa mvua ikinyesha inakuja tu inanyesha tu kwa mtoto. Kila mahali unachukua kitu, mabesheni ufunike ndio ili hiyo maji iende kwa hiyo besheni umwage nje. Sasa nimeshukuru sana, nimeshukuru.
Coming together, building houses and making people happy. What a good story. Thank you so much for tuning in to This Is The Day. My name is Sarah Otieno. Next, we're having Prayer Circle with Pastor Benjamin Waka. So send in your prayer requests, also your praise reports as we pray together. See you tomorrow.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.